Governor Gavin Newsom speaks out against allowing transgender women and girls to compete in female sports. The governor breaking with progressives and other Democrats, calling it an issue of fairness. LGBTQ+ advocates lambasting the governor's remarks. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes joins us live from CSUN in Northridge with details. Rob?
Yeah, several hundred people packed the quad here at CSUN for Charlie Kirk's visit. Some were supporting him, others were demonstrating against him. But Kirk's biggest headlines are coming from Governor Newsom's podcast. You may see them as oil and water, but today Governor Gavin Newsom and conservative activist Charlie Kirk came together.
Both things I can hold in my hand.
Newsom inviting Kirk to be on the first episode of his new podcast, This is Gavin Newsom, and then blowing up the internet by agreeing with Kirk on the issue of transgender athletes competing in women's sports.
So like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports,
right.
that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No, and I appreciate
but like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with as well.
Newsom's statement quickly spurring the nation's largest LGBTQ civil rights group, the Human Rights Campaign, to send a warning shot across Newsom's bow in regard to a possible run for the presidency, writing, "The path to 2028 isn't paved with the betrayal of vulnerable communities. It is built on the courage to stand up for what's right and do the hard work to actually help the American people." The governor's statement, a bit of a U-turn for Newsom, who as mayor of San Francisco 20 years ago defied state law and allowed same-sex couples to marry. Right now, California law allows transgender athletes to play on school teams that are consistent with their gender identity. Kirk, meanwhile,
Kids are welcome here, no hate, no fear.
Surrounded by crowds as he spoke on the Cal State Northridge campus as part of his American Comeback Tour. Supporters of his and protesters against him packing the quad near the student union. Some student demonstrators unhappy with Newsom's transgender shift.
I think at the end of the day, Newsom is a politician, and I believe that politicians are going to do what's best for them. And I think that him siding with Charlie Kirk is what's best for him in his mind.
Now, Newsom might just be following the polls. A recent New York Times Ipsos poll shows that most Democrats, nearly 7 out of 10, are against transgender athletes competing in women's sports. Reporting live in Northridge, Rob Hayes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Rob, thank you.